Welcome back to Feel Free, the only podcast that'll tell you to chase your dreams and also call you out on all your freaking bullshit. It's myself included. If you haven't already, give us a like, subscribe, follow, and share on all your favorite listening and social media platforms. Yeah, we sincerely appreciate all that love and support. So, as usual, it's Jon Cerone, and I got Joe, my brother, back with me again.
What up, what up?
We didn't really have much of a show planned other than we're kind of just going to talk about things that we're doing to chase our dreams. Just a little update on the Lomnicki brother lifestyle and all that good stuff. Joe just completed a 5K race. Was that 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, 2 weeks back.
2 weeks ago.
Chicago half marathon and 5K. It was fucking rough, man. I don't know how people run those 5Ks, 10Ks, marathons, man.
Did you run it at like your mile pace though? Like
a little slower.
What your mile mindset though?
No, I ran it with the 5K mindset in mind, but my gosh, it's just a brutal freaking race. I mean, well, that's the farthest I'll go personally.
Is that 2.6 miles?
3.1.
3.1?
Yeah.
Fuck that,
right.
Dude.
Especially when you're trying to run it at like sub 5 minute mile pace, right?
No.
It's like not all my training's really catered to that. I'm a miler, right? It's like the 800 and the miles, like my bread and butter. So like bumping up to the 5K for this was just brutal. And it was on the road. It wasn't on a track or anything, but
so were you a little hurt because you didn't get first though?
Yeah, funny story about that. So yeah, finished second place. Thought I was leading the whole way, to be honest with you, right? So this wasn't like an elite race or anything. It was more like recreational for fun, right? And me and my coach talked about it. It was just a great way to kind of go out there and break up some of the training because this like end of summer into fall, we kind of got off the track, just took a little reset and really just upped the mileage and started doing a lot of longer running and building up more of a aerobic base to start tackling the winter and next outdoor season to be able to handle more mileage as we kind of ramp things up. Mm-hmm. So this was just a way to like kind of break that training up and whatnot. And I was in the B corral. They put you out in like corrals, A, B, C, D, E, whatever. Usually they'll have like an elite division up top. Like if you're like planning on like running really fast, you can go up, go out, but they didn't have any of that, right? So I had like 200 people in front of me like going out, and your time doesn't start until you like cross the start line, so that's fine. But like, I'm waiting. Took like 30 seconds once they actually started the race for me to get up to actually start running, right? Yeah. And I'm just like bobbing and weaving through hundreds of people trying to get up towards the front. It was actually just extremely annoying. Yeah. Trying to just like weave through all these people. And I'm like, damn, like this is fucking me up so bad because I have to like slow down, speed up, and I'm tripping over people and like, just trying to like navigate the sea of people. And that's something I've never done before because I've only ran one road race, and that was last year. I remember did a 5K, that. But it was cool because I was in the elite division, so I got to start right at the front. Yeah, but they didn't have that at this one. So I think there's like 1,500 5K runners and then like 8,000 half marathon runners. Okay, so good, like just a massive amount of people. So that first like quarter mile to half mile, I'm just like finally just weaving through and getting through the front. And then I see like the lead pack of guys, right? So catch up to them. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to just settle in like right behind like the first two guys. And I'm like, man, I'm feeling really good right now. Like legs are feeling sharp. And it was early as shit, dude. Like I got there at like 6 a.m. Race went out at like 7:30. Fuck. Which is like, I'm fine with getting up in the morning. I have a lot of early work like meetings because a lot of my teams are in the UK. So it's like I'm up at 6 a.m. like doing work. Like working out though, all my workouts are like 2, 3, 4 p.m. So like later in the day. It was definitely tough like getting going early, like actually getting my body ready. Like, hey, we got to go out and move it, right? So that was a little difficult, but we got past that. So we're up there, finally get to the front of the pack. Settle into like third place, get like I want to say like a mile in, and I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna pass these guys. I'm feeling good, right? I'm running at like 440, 450 pace miles, and pass them up, and then I just like instantly just feel like absolute shit. Like I'm just like, God, this is bad. I feel terrible. Like not like in a way where it's like, man, I might just have to like bow out here. I'm done. It was just like, man, I'm trying to like push the tempo. Just because we knew from our training, like we had just done we did like 5-mile repeats a couple weeks before in a workout, and I was running them really smoothly in like the high fours. I think I started the first two at like 5:05 to 5-minute pace, then worked it down from there.
Yeah.
So like I knew I could hold like a 4:45 to 4:55 mile pace for this 5K with our limited training we've had, but definitely was confident in that. My body felt otherwise so once we actually got out there and started running. So
because it was so early.
I don't know if it was the earliness. We also didn't like do a taper, so we just kind of went all in from our training just right into this race, instead of like usually when you're trying to run a really fast race, you'll kind of decrease the mileage the week leading up to it, just to make the legs feel a little sharper and fresher.
You didn't,
so we didn't
though?
do it. We didn't do any of that just because we were just doing this race as more of like a glorified training session.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Not really results oriented. More of just, hey, let's just go out, give it a good effort. Kind of break up the training in that regard. So, like I said, I was feeling really good that first mile. Like it was annoying as fuck trying to like weave through all these people, but it was like a little game I was trying to play. I was like, oh, nice, like do like jump over this person, pass this person, go around them. But like I said, settled into that lead pack, felt great. And then when I tried to like really pick it up, I was like, man, I just don't have the legs for this. I'm just like holding on for dear life. But I passed them, so I'm just chilling, right? Like a mile and a half in, I'm good. I'm like looking behind my shoulder. I'm like, man, I'm like I'm losing them. They're like way back there, the other lead guys. So I'm like, all right, I'm pretty much just gonna coast and get the win and not really worry about the time, just because I knew I didn't really have the legs to run a fast time.
Yeah.
And the course was set up really weird too. So we get to like that halfway point where you basically make like a really sharp U-turn.
Yeah.
It wasn't like a very graceful thing at all.
No, it's like
you almost have to like come to a complete stop almost, honestly, which was weird. As I was approaching that, I see a guy that already had done that turnaround and he's heading back. And I'm like, oh fuck, that's the guy that's in the lead.
Like,
I had no idea.
not in the
I was
lead.
just coasting, right? I'm just like, man, I'm not feeling too great, but at least I'm in the lead. So I'm like, I got that going for me, right? And I see him like already do that turn as I'm approaching. I'm like, oh fuck. And he probably had like a good 30 seconds on me.
Jeez.
Yeah. So I'm just
cooking
like,
it.
so I'm like, fuck, that like the competitive juices started to flow now. And I'm like, oh, no fucking way. Like I'm pissed now. Like I'm pissed. And I just didn't have the legs. I tried to like pick it up and I just didn't have it that day. So I was like, well, at least we got a good workout in. I think we ended up running it in a little over 16 minutes for the 5K, which was honestly for my just like standards was pretty ass. I was trying to run something like under 15 minutes. So given the circumstances, I'm like not upset at it because it's not like we were going for a really fast time or it was not like a results oriented race, right?
You weren't even like training for that.
Yeah,
like, you would have said you would have decreased the mileage that week.
Yeah, we would have tapered and we would have done things a little bit differently. But this was just like a cool tempo type run workout. So it's like I think I finished my splits in like 5:10-ish mile splits, which was pretty ass. Like I said, if you're looking at the result of it, like on my best day, if I was in like my peak shape and had a good taper going in, I could probably run like a 4:40 mile split
for 3 miles.
For 3 miles, like just knowing where my fitness is at. But so the result obviously was complete ass if you look at what like I knew I could run.
Yeah.
But I just divorced my thought process from that and was like, you know what, I'm totally happy with the effort we had today. I absolutely didn't have it at all. Like felt completely dead out there after a mile. So like just to battle and actually like finish the way we finished, I was completely happy with it. And I was like, yeah, this is a great building block. I think just a good strength type workout for us.
Yeah. I mean, like you said, you weren't really out there for the results. It was almost just like you're out there to almost have like a good time.
Yeah, it was just like, for fun, get to break up the training, get some competition in.
Yeah, because it's good to get that.
Yeah, I got a cool mug/glass out of it. So
hey, there you go.
Chicago half marathon 5K, second place. So.
That's totally worth it. Wait, 5K is a half marathon?
No, so they ran a half marathon and a 5K.
Okay.
So yeah, like I said, there was like 8,000 competitors for the half marathon.
Half marathon is 13.2
Yeah, 13.1 or
13.1. Yeah, because 26.2 is a marathon, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. 13 fucking miles. Absolutely not.
Yeah, that's
brutal, dude.
That's
I'll never.
Yeah. I mean,
I get like 3. I can do like 3 or 4 miles. And no, I'm lying. Because sometimes when I go out and like actually run, I don't use the running tracker on my phone anymore. I'll like gas it for like 2 straight miles, right?
Mm-hmm.
At like probably a 7.5 mile pace. Sometimes it used to be at a 7 mile pace for 2 miles back to back.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next 25 minutes, I run until I can't anymore.
Okay. Yeah.
And
nice.
so I'll usually run for like 40 to 45 minutes.
Yeah.
And that's probably like maybe 4 miles, I think, when I'm done.
Okay.
Because obviously, like after I'm done with those 2 miles, like I'm probably at like a 10-minute pace, you know, because I'm fucking
You're
smoked.
spent.
Yeah, I'm spent at that point.
You just cooked yourself.
Yeah, I cooked myself in the first 2, and then I like drag my decrepit body all over Bensonville, like just trying to get the other 2 out of me.
Yeah.
You know, so I couldn't imagine to do like a fucking marathon.
Yeah,
there's no way.
Yeah, I don't want to rule it out because, you know, but
I mean,
right now where I'm at,
Yeah.
absolutely not. Like,
I mean,
5K is the farthest I'll go.
Yeah, well, and I mean, like later in life, you'll probably reach this point of like where your body's at, where the short distance spurts aren't going to be doable.
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
that's why most like 40 or 50-year-old men start taking up like marathons.
Yeah, and even you look at like some of the best like 5K, 10K, half marathon runners, you know, you start seeing them get a little bit older.
Yeah.
You know, like you look at like Kipchoge from Kenya. I think he's from Kenya. Actually, don't quote me.
Kipchoge?
Yeah, he's like the best marathoner.
Really?
And he actually didn't even start coming into like his own till he was, I want to say like early or mid 30s.
Fuck.
Like he didn't really have that great of times in his 20s, and yeah, now he's just like known as the best marathon runner to ever
run it.
You know,
in his
like
30s,
running
right?
like 2-hour marathons, like 440 mile pace for 26 miles.
Get
right?
out of here.
Like,
That's
just
fucked.
crazy.
No way.
So
you got your mug for your effort, so that's nice.
yeah, got a nice glass out of it.
Kind of just got to shake the dust off your legs, get a little competition adrenaline going and stuff. Now you're heading into the indoor season, so now you and your coach are switching things up, right?
Yeah, so we got the indoor track season starting end of November, early December.
Okay.
And it was a cool just way to finish off the track season. If I look back, my last actual track race was up at Grand Valley State University.
Yeah.
Ran in this USATF race outdoors. And we put out that 405 mile, which I think we were talking a little bit about. And that was a great way to just kind of finish off what was an awesome like outdoor season.
Mm-hmm.
And then, yeah, pretty much headed into the end of summer and then this fall where we really upped our mileage. So, you know, running those longer runs, those 8-mile runs, 10-mile runs on Saturdays, which is just like so much longer than anything I've ever done. Like, God, dude, let me tell you, it's just brutal, like running 10 miles consecutively, but just seeing that progress.
What's the pace you're doing those 10 miles at?
It varies. Like, I'd say like the average pace I was averaging out at like 6:45 miles, 6:45-minute miles.
Yeah, I bet the first 5 are solid, and then the last 5 are a little shaky.
The last 5 are probably like the better ones.
Really?
I'd say like usually I'd go out first couple miles if I'm doing like a 10-mile run. First couple miles go out like 7 to 7:15 pace.
Okay.
And then winding it up, I'd say like the last 2 to 3 miles, I'm down to like 6:15 to like 6:20 pace.
Oh, you pick it up like that?
Yeah.
You're a nutcase.
Yeah, so
just fucking shot.
It's like we're right there, right at the finish line. Get there.
What
Get
the
there.
fuck?
Yeah. So, but I think a big thing is also like where your heart rate's at, right? Because like the point of the long run is just to build that aerobic fitness. You want to kind of you don't want to tap into that anaerobic system where you're building up a lot of like lactate. Because then you're spending multiple days recovering after that.
Is that when your heart rate's really high?
Yeah, so there's like different tests you can do. They say, I think the standard is like you take like 180 80 beats per minute and you subtract it by your age, and that's usually like what your threshold heart rate is, where it's like that's like the threshold of where your body starts like is still able to like recycle some of like the waste that it accumulates
producing in the muscles, right?
Yeah. But like once you get over that threshold, that's when you start dipping into like your body just can't recycle that lactate, and then that's where you'll get that soreness like that next day after a tough workout. You're like, fuck, why am I so sore? It's 'cause of
I feel that.
So usually those long runs we're trying to stay in like the 150s for our heartbeat heart rate. A lot of people, when they go out and run, especially if you're a recreational runner, you know, your heart rate spike right away. I remember when I first started running, I would be in like the 180s. Yeah. And that was me just running 7, 8, 9-minute miles, right? Like I'm running an 8-minute mile when my heart rate's 185 beats a minute. It's like, what the fuck's wrong with me? Well, I'm immensely out of shape, right?
You've been drinking for 6 years and you're out of shape.
Like that'll definitely do it. But you know, as you start to build some aerobic fitness and your body gets more like
accustomed
to that, then you start to see like that drop. Like now I can hang out in like the 140s on an easy run without even breaking a sweat, you know.
See, I'd have to like get one of those like watches to really like measure mine.
Yeah, the watches are interesting. You know, I think they're great, but they definitely don't tell the whole story.
Of course.
I think the best thing, they have like these actual like heart rate readers that you strap around your chest.
Yeah, I saw Joe Rogan had one of those.
Yeah, those things are really good.
Yeah, he bought it on Amazon or something.
If that's something that you like want to know, like when you're working out, like I would definitely invest in one of those.
It wouldn't be so much so I could like know like to change my fitness around. I just kind of like wanted to know like where I'm at.
Yeah,
you know,
I think a watch would do the job.
Yeah,
then, you know,
the problem is like I hate watches. I don't wear watches. I don't like jewelry. I don't like hats, glasses. Like, I literally just wear clothes, you know. Yeah. But I think the aerobic fitness is kind of interesting because so at the gym, the people give me shit when I've been in pretty good shape the last like year, right? And when you're running basketball for like 3 straight hours, like, yeah, you got time in between games to like sit down or grab some water, but I'm still usually like shooting or dribbling like the whole time. You know, I don't stop, and everyone at the gym's like, how are you still like running? You know, even the guys who guard me in like the later games, they're like, dude, you gotta not this game. Because I'm literally just running around doing fucking like, I'm almost like a wide receiver on a football field. Right. They fucking hate it, you know? And after smoking cigars for like a month, I went back to the gym. I went back to the gym 2 weeks ago to just shoot around, right? And to see where my ankle was. And I couldn't really get up a jump shot because I still felt it. So I was just working dribbling drills. Last week I went there and I've been smoking a lot of cigars. Ankle's not 100%. I'm like, all right, we're just going to go out there and see where we're at, right? And we're playing 32, and there's a couple people in the gym. Man, I'm dusting them, dude. I'm laying it on them. Like, I'm hitting threes like 4 or 5 feet behind the arc.
Just
like
putting them in the bucket.
And I won 5 straight games of 32. And then in the last game of 32, there's 5 other people on the court with me. 2 guys were double teaming me, and then the other 3 were behind them waiting for me to drive the lane.
Yeah, it's just
so
like
I wouldn't win.
Do anything to stop this guy, and it's just like everything you throw up is just cash all day.
It was crazy. I was like, in my head, I'm like, man, I gotta stop smoking these cigars. It's gonna fuck with my basketball. And then I like go out there and just fucking kill it. I'm like, that's not gonna help now.
Right. It's like, well, maybe they're actually doing me good. So
I guess Lisa said I must have been in a good mental state.
Yeah, like the psychological aspect of it. I mean, I think a lot of times you look at, like, especially on like the elite athlete side of things, everyone gets so caught up in like the most optimal way to do things. And I think there's definitely some validity to that. But then I think there's like, well, look at Michael fucking Jordan, for instance. Yeah, like that dude was like cracking beers after the game, smoking cigars, right? Yeah. And it's like, I think you can't really like measure that psychological aspect of what actually happens when you're in like that really good, like happy state where it's like that mentality where it's like, man, everything's so clear and I'm like enjoying life because it's like, I'm here with my boys, like smoking a cigar or having a beer or two, right? And it's like,
it's more like you're like elevating your soul.
Yeah,
right? Like you can do like all this optimal stuff to like make the human body its peak peak performer.
Yeah.
But you got to understand that the brain's really driving everything.
Right.
You
Now,
know?
that doesn't mean like, yeah, let's just go out and get smashed
Yeah,
every
right.
night or
Yeah,
like,
no,
get,
that's
you know what I
fucking
mean? Because it's
stupid.
like, there's definitely got to be that balance to it. But I think when you look at some athletes and I think Michael Jordan's like the best case. It's like that guy was literally the best at what he did for so many years,
and
he
still
didn't have like this crazy optimal. Like, I mean, think of how like little understanding we had of like sports nutrition back then. You know, so
compared
it's like,
to now.
I mean, look at Dennis Rodman, for Christ's sake. Like,
Yeah, he was just
he was like a
literally-
party animal, but he was still putting in work. And so I think and I'm one that loves chasing the optimal side of things. I think it's
of course.
super important to have that understanding, but
It feels too robotic sometimes.
yeah, it definitely
you know?
has that robotic, and it's almost like that mental strain you put on yourself where it's like, man, you just have to be so perfect all the time.
And
and it's just not the case. Like,
I
I
don't
think
think-
it's okay to have like sometimes where you're not eating optimally, or you have like some pleasure.
Yeah,
and, you know what I'm
pleasure.
saying? Like, to like really uplift your spirit and just like elevate your overall
Your
like
state of mind and
happiness in life. And I think that shouldn't be taken for granted. Like I said, you definitely could like turn into that gluttonous, like you're seeking it out and you're always looking for it. And that was something that I struggled with for years, right?
Well, I mean, that's where we came from.
Yeah,
So, yeah,
right.
you already know the whole like gluttonous appetite for different substances.
Yeah,
it's
or
like,
it's just like, oh, I'll take one of these and one of these. Thank you. Like some weed, some alcohol.
and then you get it, and then like a couple hours later, you're like, well, I could totally get some more of that, you know?
Right.
You know?
Me and Trevor would always talk about like golfing, right? It's like, having some beers out on the golf course is great. And it's like we would, bring a case of beer out there, and which is just excessive as fuck. Like, nobody needs 24 to 30 beers on the golf course, And we'd get probably 3 or 4 beers in by like, the 4th or 5th hole. And it's like, man, we're feeling nice. You get that like slight buzz going where it's like the air starts to smell a little bit different.
I like how you said, yeah, I had 4 or 5 beers and I get that slight buzz now.
Yeah.
But it's because it's just about to hit you, right?
Yeah, so you're starting to get that buzz, and it's like, the air's starting to smell a little different. Everything's starting to like clear up, and you're like, this is fucking nice, man. Like, you're starting to hit like good golf shots, and you're like, okay, if I can just like maintain this feeling, I'm good, right? So it's like, well, we have to keep drinking to maintain
That
this,
feeling.
right? Because that in your head, that just makes sense.
Right.
But then you look down the road, and it's like, well, now we're starting the back 9 here on the 10th hole, and now we've had 12 beers each.
Yeah, right.
What the fuck's wrong with us? I'm wasted drunk.
Yeah,
I can't even swing my club.
You're hitting the ball. It's going all over the place.
You just don't care, So it's like, finding that.
It's finding that pocket.
Yeah,
right.
that pocket was everything. But
yeah, I think like, taking the step back and enjoying some pleasure here and there definitely did some good for my mental state.
Yeah,
So I wasn't really mad about it. But also like the following day, because I played so much 32, like how you're just talking about the lactic acid buildup, like I can tell you, like I hadn't been that sore in months. My legs, they were shot.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, it was fucked. And then that day, just to push the envelope even more, I ran 3 miles.
After or
The following day after the
okay,
basketball.
yeah.
And then the following day after that, I went and balled again. Yeah, I just did it.
you just overclocked the system
for sure. But it felt good because I hadn't done anything like that.
Yeah, but I mean, you said
weeks.
you'd been doing some push-ups, right?
Yeah, so I mean, if I haven't been getting to the gym because just work has been stressful, burned out, as me and Trevor would have put on the previous podcast, I've been just doing a lot of push-ups.
Okay.
Try and do like 100 a day.
Yeah, I think that, if anyone out there is listening to just like, man, where can I start with anything? It's like just some type of movement in general is so important. And like, you'd be surprised at like just at what it does to like your mental clarity and your just like overall well-being. Just even if it's a couple push-ups here or there, or just even going for a walk. Something I like to do because I work from home is like, I'll take my lunch break around like 12:30 in the afternoon, right? And I'll like eat really quick, maybe in 10-15 minutes. I'll have my lunch already ready and finished, and then I'll go on like a 20-minute walk.
Yeah,
and
it's
just
good for
kind
the
of let
soul.
that like that food just kind of sit in and digest as I'm
While you're
just
moving,
right?
Yeah.
And it's just like any type of movement I think is super important. Doesn't even have to be that long, 15-20 minutes. Do a couple push-ups, maybe some pull-ups,
I think people should really just start with push-ups.
Yeah.
Don't do crunches. Don't get a pull-up bar. Either go on a walk or try to even just muster up a couple push-ups and see where you're at,
Right. Yeah.
That'll do it to you.
Yeah.
We got to circle back around to the indoor season that you're looking
right
at.
around the corner.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like I was saying earlier, we upped our mileage this end of summer and fall, just to give some context around that. So last year I was running maybe 25 to like 30 miles a week in my training.
Okay.
Right. And when you look at like a typical miler runner, like an elite runner that runs like the 800 and the mile, they're usually running like anywhere from 50 to 70 miles in a week.
Okay.
And for me, not having like any background in running, my coach is like, yeah, we can't just like start you off there. You'll just burn out and absolutely get cooked. Like you'll risk too much injury, right? So
yeah.
Our whole first year working together, that past year, we were only doing 25, 30 miles, but like we were doing a lot of speed stuff. And he's like, man, you have some great natural speed. Like that's going to be awesome once we can build up some more like aerobic base and just like more mileage to you.
Yeah.
So, we made it through this last outdoor track season, ran that 405 mile, like we said. And then it's like, okay, let's like totally take a step back. Let's like not get on the track for a while. Let's literally just like focus on building up the mileage, building up this base. Let's get stronger. So, yeah, that's what we did. We upped our mileage to like 40 to 45 miles a week.
Okay.
Definitely made me a lot more tired, which doesn't seem like a lot, right? You're like, man, you're talking 10 to 15 miles only.
No, that's
extra,
a lot.
But like, you look at that
week,
like percentage
though?
every week.
Yeah, that's like a 20 to 25%
yeah, like
increase
that
every
stacks
week.
up. But like, I was focusing a ton on my recovery. Obviously wasn't drinking any alcohol or anything like that. So it was a lot of good hydration, making sure I'm like replenishing a lot of electrolytes, eating a good lean meal, lots of protein, 150 grams of protein in a day, and all that. So now heading into the indoor season, our goal is to keep that mileage right in that 40 to 45 mile window. But now we're getting back on the track to sharpen up like the speed stuff, right? So we're going to do some more lactate threshold stuff, some more speed stuff, doing a lot of those 400 meter repeats, some 600 meter repeats, 200 meters, different fun workouts like that. And this is all to gear up for going for that sub 4-minute mile attempt, which like almost seemed like a pipe dream. Like when I first started running. But my coach is like really excited for me now. He's like, Joe, I remember when we had our initial conversation, you were like, I want to like compete against best runners and run a sub 4-minute mile. And to see that we're like there now is like so freaking awesome, man. Like,
yeah, I mean, if
great.
you look at the amount of time it's taking you to get here,
yeah, really,
that's the crazy part.
Yeah.
And I think it's like how you stated at the Grand Valley meet a couple of months ago, when that one, what was it, like a high school kid? Came up to you and like asked you like how long you've been doing this. And you're like, oh, like 2 years or whatever, and you like told him everything, and he just looked at you like, this man is fucking crazy.
Yeah, he was just like infatuated. He loved it, and I hope I helped give him some motivation to make the college team that he was trying out for. But,
nice.
I remember we were up at Parents Lake House, and
is that with Joey?
This was Joey, and then Mike and his fiance Nathia.
Okay.
And we met him up there. This was 2 summers ago.
Yeah.
Right. And they were doing some camping up in northern Michigan and met us there. So I remember, I was doing my running then, and I was also doing a little bit of cross training, doing some biking stuff too, just to add some extra miles. And I remember they were all eating. I had went for just like a quick 8-mile bike ride, and I was like, let's just see like what it's like to be at like that 4-minute pace. Cause this is when I was like just kind of starting off running, and I was like super just like infatuated with the idea of breaking a 4-minute mile. Cause I thought it was like, this is that infamous thing with running. Right. And, I was like, let's pick things up on the bike here and see what it's like, what that speed is like. And I remember I was like, holy fuck, this is fast, man. I'm like, okay, this mile, that's 4 minutes done. That's 4 minutes done. That's another 4 minutes, right? And I just remember thinking, I'm like, holy shit, look how fast I'm moving on this bike just to bike a mile in 4 minutes. I was like, I gotta do this on my legs. Like, damn. And it wasn't like this like concerning thought of like, oh my gosh, am I gonna be able to do it? It was like this rewarding, like excited thought of like, I mean, fuck yeah, I'm gonna do this.
Well, you got like
I'm doing this.
You almost like got a taste of the goal.
Yeah, it's like, I can do this. I will do this. And so that was kind of like that first taste of it. Was like, man, this is what it actually takes. I got to be moving this fast to run this time.
Mm-hmm.
So now fast forward, that next year later, and ran that 4:05, and now we're like right in the wheelhouse. Obviously 5 seconds when you're running that fast is an immense amount of time to shave off. Yeah. But also just seeing how all the big chunks I've already shaved off, right? Like I started at a 4:51 as my fastest mile, then went down to like 4:37, 4:24, 4:16, now down to 4:05, right? Or 4:16 to 4:12 to 4:05. So, I think getting caught up on the times is not something that I really want to like be too involved with. I think it's great to understand, okay, this is what time I'm capable of running, this is what I've ran, but like when I actually think of like my success, it's so far up to this point, it's all been just like this desire to keep improving and just see what the best I can become is. And it's like the times will kind of just settle in and be what they are. But like when you're out there on the track competing, it's like you can give two shits about what the time is. Like you're just out there running, competing.
It's totally like, different.
I'm just out there to like see how I stack up against whoever I'm out with that day. And it's like, may the best man win.
So, but when do you race again? You said in December you got another race at Grand Valley, hopefully.
So we're looking at possibly Grand Valley. I think they put on a race in December. Still have to get everything finalized. But, the goal is to go for the sub-4 out in Boston.
In January or February.
Yeah, they put on a big race in like mid-January. They also have a big Valentine's race in like mid-February. Okay. So some of the fastest people in the country go out to those races. It's one of the fastest tracks in the U.S. for indoor. It's got like the banked curves and whatnot.
Ooh.
And there's a ton of sub-4 mile attempts that go down there, and Coach said. So that's kind of on the horizon for us now.
Nice.
We're going to take like a week off mid-October just to kind of let all this training soak in that we went on the last 3 months. And then really start picking things up at the end of October. Start sharpening up some of the speed stuff in November, December, getting to try and find some type of race just to kind of see where we're at fitness-wise. Obviously, it's not going to be like a peak performance race where we're running some crazy times, but it's just something to kind of break up the training and get out on the track.
You mean the Grand Valley one?
Yeah, Grand Valley or something in the area that I could find just to kind of get the racing vibes going, and then
competitive edge.
The big peak race will be in that January February slot for that sub-4. So
I think he can do it, honestly.
Yeah,
I think he can.
It's pretty crazy, man. I just, like I said, seeing where we came from to where we are now, it's like just to be in that discussion of, man, we're right there. It's pretty awesome, and it's like exciting as fuck.
Yeah, I feel that. I'm kind of right there with the book as well.
Yeah, how's that going?
It's almost surreal that it's pretty much, it's almost done at this point. So I actually had a meeting with my proofreader. Shit, is it Thursday? Yeah, it's Thursday. So last Friday I had a meeting with my proofreader where we met at a coffee shop downtown. I had never done something like this before. I thought we were just going to go on Zoom, talk about the changes that were going to be made. A couple other things, and he goes, "Oh, you want to meet in a coffee shop in Chicago?" I'm like, "All right, let's do that." All right, cool. So we went down there. It was a good time. The first hour, we didn't even really fucking do anything to do with the book. We literally just talked about like philosophy.
Really?
Because he's a PhD in philosophy.
Oh, that's dope.
And he was a teacher for 10 years, right? And he's a pretty cool guy. He actually wants to do almost like a book club.
Yeah.
He wants to I told him my attention span for reading is terrible, and I enjoy reading philosophy and trying to understand it, right? Because it's almost like a puzzle, you know? And some of the shit's really archaic, and I find it interesting. So I told him that, and he goes, yeah, we could just pick out a book and 100 pages every 2 weeks and then meet up and talk about it. I'm like, that's pretty fucking sweet. So I think I'm going to hit him up for that.
Hell
you know?
Yeah. Right.
So that's cool.
Would it be philosophy, in that realm area, or? Yeah,
it would be mostly philosophical texts.
Okay.
He was also looking into, interested in the philosophy of addiction because there are things that are written about it. So he looked up a couple articles about that too that we could talk about. But then I also just told him, like, dude, I just need help, like, understanding Nietzsche, you know, because the man's ridiculous. The shit the man says is, like, awesome, but it's so difficult to understand everything he's ever written, you know.
Yeah,
he's probably the most profound writer of the 1800s, in my opinion.
Extremely complex dude, right?
He is this extremely complex dude. And so I might hit him up for that because that's cool. It's almost like...
What's his first name? Like Frederick or something?
Friedrich Nietzsche.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's fucking crazy. But yeah, the meeting went well, so I got the manuscript from him. We changed some things around. And then I handed it off to the designer. She's coming up with a couple of different proofs on how the pages are going to look and everything. So hopefully she's going to get that to me by Saturday. I'll hopefully have like an EPUB file for the end of the month.
Okay. And what was the feedback from the proofreader? I guess he wasn't really giving you feedback on like what he thought of the book. It was more just
he was doing that too, though.
Was he? Okay.
No, yeah, he actually went above and beyond over the grammar stuff, and he actually did some developmental editing too.
Really?
And asking about like where I should put certain places, like different parts of the epilogue could have actually went in the prologue.
Yeah.
Maybe a little author's note to reintroduce the idea to the people reading it. So he actually did a lot of cool stuff that I'm really happy with. And yeah, so that's going to be coming at the end of the month, hopefully. There's other research I'm doing now, and I'm like, fuck, I got to like buy an ISBN number. I have to like buy one. Either that or I get one auto-generated by Amazon or whatever, but I was just like reading up on how that could be difficult if I'm trying to sell to different retailers and platforms.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to purchase the ISBN and barcode to go on the back of the book.
Okay. Yeah, especially, I don't know if that has anything to do with just like targeting certain audiences or like, especially like if you have it up on Amazon, right?
So if I use different auto-generated ISBNs, then the reviews will go to different styles. So you need a different ISBN for a different type of book. So a paperback has a different one, an ebook has one, a hardcover has one, a PDF form has one. Like the different forms of the book need one, right? And the reviews will be attached to that ISBN. If I'm using different ones that are auto-generated by the sites I'm selling through, then some of the reviews aren't going to be on that ISBN. You know, I want the metadata to all be in one place. I want it all to be connected by one ISBN. Okay. So I'm going to have to pay for that. I was like, all right, whatever. That's a business expense, I guess. Then I also got to like I got to design a fucking website. You know, I'm like running through the list of the shit I've been making for September. I kind of like fucked off for September almost, you know, like I had people working on my book. I'm still working my ass off at my job, you know.
Yeah, it's tough, man. It's like, it's not like that's like your only thing you've got going on. It's like, I'm trying to get this book out here. It's like, fuck, I have a girlfriend. I have work. I have friends that I hang out, you know, and it's
got
like
a podcast too on top,
all these other things, right?
Yeah. So I kind of, there wasn't really much I could do with the book for the month of September, right? Like I had people working on it, so I kind of just like fucked off. But now it's like October. I'm like, oh shit, I got to make a list of all the things that need to lead up to me launching this thing correctly, right? So there's got to be a website. I'm going to have to hire someone to write metadata for the Amazon thing, right? Which is different keywords that'll, you know, connect the search engine to that. Because I'm not writing metadata.
Some type of like marketing stuff too, right?
Exactly. You know, it's just all this stuff that I gotta start doing now because now the date's getting closer to completion. Like once my designer hands me the completed copy, it's like all on me at that point, you know, which is gonna happen in like 3 weeks. So that's exciting stuff though. But still, like when you're thinking about it, like I really started coming up with the idea for the book last year around this time. I had toyed with the idea of all my books the last like 3 to 4 years while I'm getting sober or like leading up to getting sober. Like I've had these ideas for these books for a while, right? But this book like manifested a year ago, right? And like how you were saying you were biking the 4-minute mile to kind of like see what it was about. Yeah. And it's crazy a year later, like your coach says, like we're fucking there now. You know? And it's crazy to me where the idea started a year ago for this book and now I'm like there and it's like, I'm literally gonna have a book in like a couple weeks, you know, which is fucking crazy.
Yeah, isn't that nuts? I think there's like a famous quote. I forgot how it goes. It's like people like underestimate how much they can accomplish in a year and overestimate how much they can accomplish in 10 years, right?
Yeah,
it's
that
like,
makes sense.
Like, oh, I can, accomplish the world and do this and that. And then it's like, but looking at this 1 year goal, this is like very minuscule to the actual, like, overarching goal
picture
of what I'm looking for. And it's just like, you'd be surprised at what you can get done in one full calendar year.
Yeah.
It's actually insane. It's like,
if you're diligently killing it for 12
and then
months.
You look at like all these distractions in today's society: video games, social media,
TV. Dude, there's so many fucking TV shows out.
Food, right?
Everything.
It's like all these things, and it's just like, you can literally look 3 to 4 months down the road and be like, what did I actually accomplish in these 3 to 4 months? It's like, well, I helped a company make money because I work for them, and I paid my bills, and
I went to a couple weddings.
Yeah, right? I did this, and I made some good food, and I watched a good TV show, right?
Yeah.
And it's just like, that's just like death by distraction, if you'd ask me.
Yeah, for real.
It's just like, shit.
I mean, some people, if that's like your happiness, like,
yeah, I'm not gonna sit here to like say you shouldn't be watching TV, because I fucking watch TV.
Yeah, exactly.
I love watching sports. I love,
I feel like
baseball, basketball, football, all that shit.
I do feel like everyone's got like this thing waiting inside of them,
Yeah, like this untapped potential where it's just like there's something inside of you that's just waiting to like blossom, and like you got to find what, and who knows what that is, right?
Yeah, or who knows when you're gonna actually
or when
do
you're gonna like aspire to like making it happen. Yeah,
it's just like an optimistic point of view. It's like, we like to use television, our cell phones, and really shitty food to like numb ourselves, right? And countless other things. But like you said, it's crazy what you can actually accomplish in a year. Now, it's not to say that me or you weren't distracted in this last year.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
There's distractions left and right.
Yeah, like we were just saying earlier in the podcast, it's like you got to have that pleasure, for your mental state, right? Like, you can't just be completely optimal for 12 straight months. Like, we're not fucking robots, right? You got to take some breaks here and there, and you got to like reward yourself accordingly. Otherwise, you're going to work so hard, you're going to be like mad at the fact you work so fucking hard.
Yeah, you don't want to get lost too much in the journey. Like, the journey has to be filled with all types of exciting, interesting turns and
keep it lively,
creations, right? It shouldn't just be this monotone straight path towards whatever you're trying to accomplish. It's like sometimes it's all right to veer left or right and see what's going on over here or there. It's just like, I think what it really boils down to is, one, do you have an idea of what it is that you're aspiring to be or create or do? And then it's like, then the next thing is, well, what's the consistency like to seeing it out?
How long do I have to do this?
It's like, you can, as long as you're consistent, and like I said, there's going to be tons of distractions. Like, I still do a lot of things. I'm not completely optimal with, my sub 4 minute mile at time. There's a ton of things I could be doing immensely better, right?
Yeah, but you've got like a full ass life on top of it.
Yeah, it's like I also have like my family and friends that I like to see, my girlfriend, my job, which is pretty crazy, that's actually funding my running and stuff like that.
So you're a big sports guy too,
and I love watching sports and whatnot. But it's like, what I'm trying to say though is like that consistency to the dream that I'm trying to create and develop for myself. Like, that's just one small aspect of me is this sub 4 minute mile, this elite athlete training, right? Like, that's one small aspect, and that's where a lot of my priority and my consistency's heavily focused on right now, right? And it's like, okay, there's still other things that I'm doing in life and other distractions that come in, and social media and TV and friends and family and all that. But it's like, as long as I'm still staying consistent in capturing this dream, then it's okay to have those other pleasures. I personally think, and it's okay to veer off path a little bit, as long as you're keeping that guiding light on exactly what it is you're trying to.
I think it's almost like a daily consistency.
Yeah, absolutely.
You always have to be doing that.
Don't take any days off.
No, you can't. For something that you truly love.
Yeah, in that dream that you're aspiring to accomplish. Now, that doesn't mean do it all day, every day, and just zero in on it. No, absolutely not.
I mean, there is a point, though, like, if you're in that zone and you love something that much,
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't like just say fuck like your adult responsibilities.
Right. You know what I mean? It's
but
not like I could just go out and run and train for 18 hours a day
there's
and
a
then
limit.
sleep.
Yeah, for
it's
sure.
like I can only train for an hour or two a day, right?
Of course, but like for you, it was like, okay, now you're going to research nutrition.
Yeah,
now you're
exactly.
going to research running stuff.
It's like, okay, so what could I be doing better on the recovery side of things? Stretching and massaging and
so there's a limit to like
aspects.
what you could do with your body,
The physical aspect, and then
there
it's like, how do I mentally train myself?
Yeah,
What am I
right.
consuming on a daily basis? Am I watching the right, stuff? Am I channeling the right, energy and just like the right people into my life,
Yeah,
or
of
am I
course.
just living this very like hypocritical lifestyle where it's like, okay, well, I'm aspiring and I'm trying to achieve this immense, crazy, like physical attribute dream that I've set out for, but is it aligned with how I'm actually reacting and acting in my life on a daily basis?
True.
And when you can align those things, then you can start to see some crazy cool progress start to unfold. And that's where it comes down to like what you can actually accomplish in a year. As long as you're like super consistent with it and you have a good set in stone like idea of what that's going to look like, and you have the right people enabling you and the right materials and the right objects and things around you to make it happen, then it's gonna like come into fruition.
Happen. Yeah,
it's just like you gotta just make sure you're putting yourself in those right situations.
Right, and I think it's crazy that we talk at this point now because it's like we've talked on here before. I've been sober 3.5 years, right? And you've been training for a little over 2.5 years, or almost 2.5 years, right?
Yep.
Like the first year is not glorious at all.
Yeah, it's mucky.
It's
it's
actually discouraging too.
You're just going through the trenches like, is this all worth it? What the fuck am I doing? Right? Like all these questions, because your mind is creating these new like pathways and all these different,
but it's still clinging to the old. It's still clinging to the old ones, though.
Yeah,
the old doubt, the old pain and shame,
and it's just like, well, we have such good, deeply rooted, like negative and positive memories. Why don't we just go back to that? Because that's at least like comfortable for us, right? And it's just like, but that's breaking that is extremely, extremely tiring and just like annoying.
You mean a fixation with the past?
Yeah, it's just like, fuck, why can't I just go back to that? Like sometimes like some of my friends will be out drinking and stuff, and I'm just like, fuck, why can't I just go back to that? It's like, I miss that shit. But then it's like, then I see that they're sleeping in till 11 noon the next day feeling like shit, and it's like, all right, I don't miss that at all.
I don't miss that at all.
For sure.
If there's one, if there's two things I do not miss, it's definitely the alcohol and the weed.
Yeah,
I do not miss those two things. Out of everything that I've consumed in my body, like those are just the worst in my opinion.
Right.
And obviously like all my friends here are just fucking hardcore stoners. Like, do you know you talk about weed's fucking great? And I'm like, no, I don't know about that.
Right.
I feel 10 times better.
Yeah.
But it's the consistency that you're looking for on a yearly basis.
That just consistent, like day in, day out. Doesn't have to be like hardcore consistency, but as long as you're doing a little bit of something every day to like work towards progressing that,
right?
Whatever that looks like, it's pretty amazing how things start to come into place and just like attract themselves to you.
See, I think you do that. Like you make a priority of your running on a daily basis, right?
Yep.
There are some times, like I said, the September month was pretty rough for me, right? But I had always made it a priority to at least write something each and every day.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be like, oh, this is going in a book.
Something profound and influential.
Yeah, I had to like start getting that thought out of my head, because as I'm getting sober, I'm like, all right, I'm going to have this completely unfiltered perspective.
Yeah.
Like everything that I've faced in my life is now just going to pour out of me, and I'm going to write some profound ass shit, right? And I just had to realize years into my sobriety, I'm like, that's not how it works.
Right.
You just have to literally keep doing it until you understand that your good results are few and far between almost,
Right.
You can work as hard as you possibly can every day on a daily basis, like me for writing, and not every single word I write is gold. Not every sentence, not every phrase, not every thought. That's not how it is. Just like how every step you take when you're running isn't the perfect fucking step.
Right. You could be working towards that, but it's not. Yeah.
It's never going to be perfect.
Right.
All you can do is just keep writing or keep running or keep doing it.
I mean, look at Eminem. He's a great example. Like,
tirelessly.
A man that was heavily addicted to drugs, has been stone cold sober.
14
and
years.
Still
I just saw
writing,
a picture.
you know.
Yeah.
And I actually saw this video the other day. It was really funny. As Akon was talking about when he worked with Eminem.
Oh, at the studio? Yeah, I remember this story.
He was like, yeah, man, Eminem's fucking nuts. Like, I thought he was like in the studio all day, every day, just like grinding. Like, no, that dude literally just works 9 to 5, like a normal job. And I was like, you know, like normally in the music business, like you're doing a lot of shit like at night. Like that's the sweet spot. So like, you know, I hit him up. It's like 6, 7 p.m. Like, yeah, well, I'm like heading to the studio. Like, you there? And he's like, nah, man, like I'm done for the day. I'm clocked out. And he's like, what? He's like, yeah, I'll be there at 9 a.m. And he's like, all right, I'll be there at 9 tomorrow. Right. He's like, I showed up at 9 and there Eminem was like writing, doing his shit. And then it's like, you know, he's getting ready to like lay his verse, right? And then it's like 12 p.m. and he's like, all right, you want to go get some lunch?
Yeah, he just
Dude
stops.
takes lunch at 12 p.m. I'm like, well, aren't you going to like finish your verse? Like, no, like we'll do it when we get back. And then, you know, we're working on another piece in the song, like, you know, 4:30, 5 p.m. comes around. It's like, I'm just about to finish. He's got like 20 more minutes. It's like, all right, man, like I'm heading out. It's like, what? Like, you're almost done. Like, you're just finishing. He's like, nah, I'll just pick that shit up tomorrow, man. You know?
But he understands. He's got a method to his madness.
Yeah,
It's his. He's consistently just done it.
Yeah,
He knows
like,
what
that's
works for him.
And it's like he embodies that consistency, you know.
Right.
And you like talk to like anyone in the music industry that's worked with him, like, yeah, he's just like, yeah, he's a lyrical genius and that's great and all, but like you look at just like the body of work, it's like undeniable how, you know, what he's been able to do.
I mean, imagine how much work you could complete in a 9 to 5 job over.
Right.
So he's been doing it now. Let's just
When
say,
did, like, if you talk about like the Slim Shady LP, even though he had like Infinite and that stuff before that, but the Slim Shady LP released in what, 1998?
1998.
You know?
But let's just say he wasn't doing that whole 9 to 5 thing for some of those years because he was off the rails for a little bit. You know,
right.
Let's just say, like, for the sake of this argument, that the last 14 years of
since
him
he's
being
been
sober, he's just like, I'm going to treat this like a 9 to 5 job.
Right.
And he just rolls up to the studio that day. Okay, can you imagine working a 9 to 5 desk job for 14 years? Do you have any idea how much you would accomplish that company?
Yeah.
Now
like,
you look at what he's
crazy,
accomplished. Yeah,
you know?
it's just absurd consistency.
But then now look at like, and I think there's a big lack of this, but it's like, imagine like starting your own business or like doing something that like really is like improving your own life, whether it's like working out, eating a better life, starting a business, starting a hobby, starting a relationship with somebody, you know.
You're not going to be able to put
like,
that 9 to 5 energy into that when
like,
you're starting out, though.
Yeah, absolutely not when you're starting out. But it's just like, imagine if you just do a little bit each day, right?
That's
like,
what you have to do.
Like for my running, I was putting in 30 minutes an hour a day when I first started, but I was doing that, you know, day in, day out. And then it's like, okay, now I can do a little bit more. Now outside of my running, I can do a little weightlifting outside of that. And I can do a little bit of research how to like eat a better diet and this and that. And then it's like now a lot of my thoughts are consumed by running. And it's like now I'm spending, you know, 4 to 6 hours a day with running related stuff. Obviously I'm not working out and running for 4 to 6 hours, but like I'm still like thinking about it. I'm watching stuff on it. I'm trying to like better my craft in it. And it's like, that's just like a product of me becoming more knowledgeable and then me being more hungry to like, man, like, this isn't a pipe dream anymore. Like, this is like reality.
It's actually happening.
I'm like creating this, you know?
I mean, that's why the consistency is important for the results, though, too. Because like we said, that first year is very discouraging.
Yep.
I think if you plow through the first year of just like changing your life, you get through that, and then the results feel a little better.
Yeah, it's like you start to like see the light at the end of the tunnel, and you start to like believe in yourself. That self-doubt is like really heavy in that first instance of starting something new.
Of course.
You know?
And I'm going to be honest. So I talked about like the book, right? I got the podcast too. I got all this shit going on. If there's one thing, you just said a very interesting point. You're like, once you start seeing those results, you're like, oh, it's not a pipe dream. Like, I can do this. You know, that self-doubt's gone. No, the one realm that I have to step into is social media. Hate it still.
Yeah, it's rough.
I'll plainly say it. I've said it on almost every single podcast I do. I despise the shit, the entire platform, everything about it, everything it stands for. I think it's absolute garbage. I think it is destroying the human race. Plain and simple, honestly. And I literally have to, like, get into that. I have to, like, put myself out there through that.
Yeah, when you think of just like reaching people and connecting with
like I have to
an audience,
like I don't have $1,000 a month to pay like a social media guru who's gonna do this shit for me, right? Like initially, like I'm going to have to just step out of my comfort zone. But I was talking with Kath about comfort zones on one of the podcasts. I think some comfort zones are okay, because now I'm like actually saying this out loud, and I'm like, why would I step out of the comfort zone of hating social media into the uncomfortable zone of social media? Then that sounds stupid.
Yeah.
Well, fuck me.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting predicament you find yourself in.
That is an interesting predicament. I'm fucking not happy about it.
Yeah.
I'm just going to keep saying how not happy I am about it,
but
but
it's
I
like,
got to do it.
I mean, obviously there's a lot of negative aspects to social media.
But
and I think when you look at it in its entirety,
like it's got some positive things,
a lot of people
though.
are like, well, it helps connect people and this and that. And it's like, yeah, it does.
Yeah,
but
I
like,
get it.
I think the negatives far outweigh the positives.
I think that's the problem I have with it.
Right.
The other problem is like how you're just saying like you're hungry with this learning. Oh, everything I think about is running, and I want to get better at it. There's not a single part of me that wants to study how to make my social media platform
because
better.
there's ways you can be better at social media.
I know.
But it's like that drive isn't there because of how much you despise the idea.
I know the videos to watch, the articles to read. Like I know if I like actually learn the shit, like I'd be able to do it a little more efficiently. But I just hate it.
Yeah.
So I'm not hungry in that sense, right?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to be.
Yep.
Basically hungry to eat shit. That fucking sucks, bro.
Yeah, it's not fun.
No, it's not. So we I think we've done a really good job on this podcast. It's actually been like an hour.
It's
been an hour. The last thing I am gonna say, because I am excited. So we've kind of talked about things to look forward to in both of our lives, just our thoughts on dreams and shit, and a couple other funny things. The last thing I am gonna say, I think I said it on the other podcast. Maybe I didn't. I'm getting a cat.
Oh, yeah.
Getting a fucking cat.
Nice.
Oh, yeah. We're getting a cat here.
Tell you, I was, side note to that, I wanted to get a dog.
I know
really
you did.
bad. I found a little puppy the other day. I was walking, on my lunch break around the neighborhood and found this puppy in like the front yard. Some house. I was like, it's probably just whoever's house that is. But then he goes into another yard and then another yard. And he starts following me. And I'm like, oh, shit. And it was the cutest little puppy and follows me all the way back. So I bring him in the house and just like, man, I want to keep you so bad. But saw this guy, younger kid, driving around the block super slow, obviously looking for him, brought him out to him. He's super happy. But it just made me want a damn puppy.
Yeah, I mean, well, you also got to tell people this wasn't any ordinary puppy.
Yeah, it was like
a golden Labradoodle puppy.
Yeah, it was just gorgeous. He was the funnest little dude.
I bet.
But it made me want one so bad.
Yeah, it's a lot of work though. I mean, you work from home, so it'd be all right. You know?
Traveling with like running and just like
raising a puppy though.
Yeah, it's tough. So
but
probably
I mean,
not on the horizon.
But like
right
I
now.
said, you work at home.
Yeah,
that's why it's a little different.
Definitely, much more manageable. But
it's a little different for having a cat. Cats are kind of more independent. They still need human interaction at the start, like kittens, right?
When are you getting it?
When we get back from the cottage. So we've been talking about this. I asked Armando over a week ago, and he said, yeah. I thought he was going to say no. Yeah, I thought he was going to say, he said no initially. 2 years ago when I lived here, he let me have a lizard. I had a lizard here for a year.
Yeah.
Because it's in a cage. He said no pets, and I get it. Some people are dirty with their pets,
Right.
And I was almost like scared to ask him. Obviously, like nobody likes being rejected.
Right.
I don't want to be rejected at not having a cat.
Especially when it's not like it's like, oh, I'm optimistic about this. It's like going in, I know it's probably going to be a rejection, so now I don't even want to ask more.
You know, but I also didn't want to be like, damn, dude, I don't know if I can go a whole nother like 10 months living here without like an animal of some sort.
Yeah.
After losing the cat,
Right.
And I get in there and I'm like, I texted him first. I'm like, hey, can I come talk about the apartment? I didn't want to ask him over text. He goes, yeah, sure, come upstairs. Go into his office. I'm like, hey, so can I like get a cat? He goes, yeah, of course. I'm like, oh, really? He goes, yeah, you guys are like super clean. I don't even care. And I'm like,
it's like, fuck, man, I've been like trying to go back and forth how to ask.
I know, right? And he goes, yeah, sure. And I told Lisa. So that was like over a week ago that I got the okay. We didn't want to get it, though, because we've just been busy all these weekends. Now we're going camping this weekend. next weekend we're going to the cottage for our anniversary, and it's like that's. I don't want to be bringing the cat with.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want people watching my kitten at the start. You know.
Yeah, you definitely want to make sure you're going to be around for it at the early developmental part.
That's what I'm saying, because that's when it gets like super attached to you.
Yeah.
Like raising a kitten like that is just phenomenal.
Yeah.
You know, because when I raised like Bubba when I was 16, I was like, this is the shit.
Right.
This is fucking great,
Yeah.
dude. But yeah, that's the other piece of good news I got to leave everybody with. So
Yeah, that's exciting shit, man.
right. So I think we did a pretty good job at telling everybody a little update on the Lomnicki Brother lifestyle. If you got anything you want us to talk about specifically, leave us a comment on our social media post or DM us personally. I'll probably be the one answering that anyway. Hope you guys enjoyed the podcast. We'll be back with another one soon. Peace out.
Later.